Hello Internet, my name's Guy. A viewer recently asked me how I tram in the column on my Harbor Freight mini mill, so I'm going to show you a couple of ways I have to do that. And by the way, stay tuned to the end. I've got a special feature right at the end. This is the jig that I built for tramming the mill. You see I have a dial indicator on the end of a piece of bar stock with a post right here that will go right into an R8 chuck in the quill, so that as this swivels around like this, I can take a reading on the left side and I can take a reading on the right side and bump the column over to get them both equal, like that. This was very simple to make. I just drilled a hole in some bar stock, cut a bandsaw cut in here, and then put a tightening screw in here to just lock that down. I could have just put a set screw in there. Same thing, just a simple bolt in the end here to hold the dial indicator. This couldn't be simpler to make, and it's a great beginner project. Around the back of my machine I have a power strip here that feeds power to the machine itself and all my accessories. So I have a little magnetic light here, another ring light, the tachometer, the DRO, all that stuff is all on one switch. So that makes it really convenient. Back here, of course, is the main nut that you loosen to adjust the angle of the column, and my Harbor Freight machine came with this gigantic wrench, which is just great. I'm sure you could use any other large crescent wrench if you didn't get one with your machine. This has been sitting here quite a while. As you can see, it got quite dusty. But obviously, you just loosen this enough that you can then take a rubber mallet right at the top of the column here, out of the frame, I guess, yes, and just whack it gently to move it just slightly, and then go back and check the tram each time until you get it dialed in, and then tighten this down good and hard. So now I'm going to adjust the head here to bring this down to where that just starts to read right there. Then I'm going to lock the head, super important. All right, now what I can do is take a reading from this position right here, swing it around, and take a position from this reading right here. So I like to take the column and adjust it to where I get a 0 at my 12 o'clock position here. So that's nice and zeroed here. Then of course I can swing it around, take a reading at the other end, and whack the column as needed to get it leveled out. I'm going to walk around and see how it's doing over here. And yes, it's in perfect tram. Another way to go that I just figured out is to use a dial indicator holder with a magnetic base and get it up onto the quill here, where it just has enough of a radius here to go onto the quill. I can lock that down, boom, there you are. So now this will swing around on the quill just like that, and I can get a reading at both locations. So having configured this, of course, so that it's going to hit in both places just beautifully like that. This is a surprise to me. I didn't think it would hold onto the quill, but it does really handily. So your machine may vary, but this works for me. So the perfect way to test the tram of a mill is to do a fly cutting pass on a piece of flat stock. Let's try that out. So as you can see, the back edge is being cut just slightly, just enough to create that slight interference pattern that you see there. So let's take this piece of metal right out of the vise here and have a look. As I tilt it up here, you can see all the overlapping curling cuts from the fly cutter, and that's what I call an interference pattern right in there. You see that? That means that the machine is in perfect tram. And here's your special feature. This is what my workshop normally looks like, and it's just too untidy for video presentations. Since I have a whole bunch of photography gear, I'm actually a professional photographer with a degree in photography and a history in movie visual effects. I have just tons of gear. So what I can do is move my rolling tool chest with the mill on it and put it in front of some white seamless and move my lights and set everything up to give you a very clear presentation. I know a lot of YouTubers don't like to show you this behind the scenes stuff, but I thought you might like to see it. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like or subscribe, and thanks for watching.